Jeannie, you ready?
It's preparing now, Jack. Probably like
Okay.
a few more seconds.
Okay, thanks much.
Okay, it's live now.
Okay, very good. Welcome to the Economic Development Committee of Cuyahoga County. We're here to discuss one piece of legislation. Please call the committee to order and to do the roll call now.
Yeah.
On the roll, Mr. Sharon,
Here,
Mr. Tuma,
Here.
Ms. Stevens. Ms. Stevens is absent at the moment. Ms. Baker,
Here.
Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. We have a quorum. Also like the record to reflect that council members Miller and Jones are also in attendance.
okay, sounds great. Welcome, Pernell. Welcome, Dale.
Good to
Has there
be here,
been any
Jack.
comment? Is there any public comment in regards to this meeting?
No, Mr. Chair, nothing was submitted for public comment.
Okay, and minutes of the previous meeting? No?
We're still on mute or no? No, we're off.
Nope, we're good.
The minutes of the previous meeting, is there any in regards to that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I couldn't hear you.
The minutes of the previous meeting,
Oh, me, okay.
it was a long time ago. For anybody who need to discuss any of the previous minutes, previous meetings? Okay. Hearing none, then why don't we read into the record the one item that we have?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, are you going to approve the minute?
Oh, sorry about that. Yes. There's a bit, the chair will move to accept the minutes of the previous meeting. Sorry about that. Is there a second?
Second.
Baker.
Tuma, any discussion? Hearing none. I like Mr. Miller's suggestion at the last meeting. Please take your phone off mute and vote. All in favor of the minutes as presented, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Simon's here.
thank you.
Simon,
Oh, hey, thank
Chair
you.
and Clerk. Simon made it.
Simon's driving down the road at this point in time, it looks like. Mr. Tuma was doing that earlier too.
Oh, it's
Right.
Tuma.
All right, please read into the record the one item that we have
Yeah.
before us today.
Resolution number 2020-0105, authorizing an economic development fund business growth and attraction loan in the amount not to exceed $3,500,000 to Gojo Industries for the benefit of a manufacturing facility project to be located at 5700 Lee Road South in the city of Maple Heights.
Mr. Clerk, is there a substitute that I understand that's going to be submitted with a change of name? Is that
Yes,
Was
Mr.
it-
Chair, it is included in the packet.
okay? But what you read does not have the substitute yet. We need to introduce the substitute.
What's the substitute?
Yeah.
LLC.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you please read the substitute into the record then?
Resolution number 2020-0105, authorizing an economic development fund business growth and attraction loan in the amount not to exceed $3,500,000 to GJ Real Estate for the benefit of a manufacturing facility project to be located at 5700 Lee Road South in the city of Maple Heights.
So the primary substitute is just to change the name to the actual title holder of the real estate. Is that correct in regards to that, Carter? Is that the purpose of the substitute?
I had the team members talking to me, Chairman. Could you just say that again, please?
Yeah, the primary purpose of the substitute is just to change the naming of the title holder on that.
That's correct. I think there's one modification.
The LLC at the end of the day.
Yeah, just at the end of that second resolution, the modification should also retain the LLC should be at the end of that, which I don't
Okay,
think
so-
you stated.
So the letters LLC should be also included in that?
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct. Ms.
Mr.
Jarrett
Chair.
and Andrew.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, on the resolution, the substitute resolution, that information is already included.
okay, the LLC names is already on there. Okay.
That's correct.
The
yes.
chair will move the chair will move to substitute to approve the substitute and replace it into the original record. Is there a second?
Good to go.
Is there a second? I didn't hear a second.
I'll
Okay,
Gwen
second by
Baker.
Simon.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the substitute replacing the original? Say aye.
I can't believe she's driving.
Everybody come off mute so we can substitute. All in favor of the substitute replacing the original, say aye.
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 Okay, the substitute is now before us as the legislation of record. Is there anyone here to speak in regards to the substitute language that has now been approved for replacing the original as we go forward? Mr. Carter, I assume you're going to be first to speak.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Before Mr. Carter speaks, Mr. Chairman, I did arrive. I unplugged.
Thank you very much.
I
Ms. Simon.
unplugged my camera, sorry.
Okay, all right. And I love you musicians in the background there too. Go ahead, Mr. Carter, if you would like to tell us a little bit about this project and why we should, as the county, would be in our best interest to go forward with this.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. I was admiring before the screen switched Councilwoman Sonny's driving and Zoom technique. Pretty impressive. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, Ted Carter, the Chief Economic Development Business Officer. On behalf of County Executive Budish, I am thrilled to present this recommended loan package for your consideration for Gojo Industries to make their Purell sanitizer products, and in this facility, the manufacturer of the Purell surface spray. This has been just an outstanding day for our department. Earlier today, in the Community Development Committee, we introduced our rental assistance program, which is countywide. And so that's one of our verticals, as you know. And this afternoon, we are introducing one of our economic development projects, the loan for Gojo Industries. I am recommending to the committee approval of this $3.5 million loan to Gojo as part of our business growth and attraction program. Joining me on the call today is Ms. Carrie Jaros, Gojo's CEO, and Mr. Andrew Waterson, Gojo's Vice President of Government Relations and Sustainability. Also joining me is Maple Heights Mayor Annette Blackwell and her team, as well as our partner from the state, Team NEO, Senior Vice President Christine Nelson, whom I think I saw at one point. I don't see her in the lineup. Christine, are you still on?
I am here.
Okay, thank you for joining. Let me briefly give an overview of the county proposal. So I will go first, followed by Ms. Jaros. I will go first, followed by Michael May, who will go into some of the specific technical details of our proposed recommendation, followed by Ms. Jaros, and then Mayor Blackwell. And if you have any questions for any of the team members, including Christine Nelson from Team NEO, we're happy to address those. The terms of this incentive loan are as follows. A $3.5 million loan, which will be used for the acquisition of the building. It is not subject to prevailing wage. Our loan is not subject to prevailing wage. The loan is secured with the county having first position on the value of the real estate, which includes the building and 25 acres. The value of this is currently 2.5 times the value of our loan, in addition to a corporate guarantee. The total project cost is currently estimated at $24 million, so the county's loan represents approximately 14% of the project's value. Total value. We are requesting approval for a 20-year term at a 2% interest rate for the loan, with up to $500,000 forgivable based on job creation achievements over a 3 to 6 year horizon. The CCIC Loan Committee has approved this structure without reservation, given the strength of the company and our collateral. Due to unique circumstances, environment, and speed that this project gelled, there are still certain elements of the project costs that are being refined by the company and have not yet been fully vetted by the department. The job achievement metrics to be met by the company include the creation of a minimum of 100 new jobs at an average of $51,000 per job. Mr. May will go through the distribution of those 51 jobs and both their occupational titles and associated salaries. So you can see that these are very high-paying jobs with excellent benefits, which Ms. Jaros will speak to briefly. This amount of the new jobs is above the average county wage of $44,000. Part of the forgiveness is centered around the creation of an additional 100 jobs. So we anticipate that there could be as many as 200 new jobs at this facility. These terms were developed after extensive conversations with Gojo and discussions with our partners, the state of Ohio via Team NEO and Maple Heights. The loan is structured and intended to serve as an inducement for Gojo to locate their state-of-the-art manufacturing facility and create high-paying jobs in Cuyahoga County, Maple Heights. Hence the city's participation, and the mayor and her team can speak to their contribution toward this project. This project could prove to be catalytic in the next stage of Maple Heights' economic growth. The company has also made a firm commitment to ensure diverse local hiring. Currently, approximately 18% of their 2,000 U.S. employees are African American and 21% are minority. This opportunity presents the first time we have been able to memorialize the diverse hiring commitment in an offer sheet. Hence, the company has agreed to partner with the county, the city of Maple Heights, and the Workforce Development Board to achieve the hiring of local diverse residents. This commitment reflects the sensibilities of the company's CEO and could well become a pilot we can build on in structuring future projects. One of the many positive considerations of their evaluation of Cuyahoga County to locate this facility was the diversity of our county. Other factors included the building location with the manufacturing amenities that fit their specifications. The presence of these factors, they determined, would allow for them to rapidly stand up their production and distribution of this critical product that combats the spread of the coronavirus. During these negotiations, the Gojo team has demonstrated a strong commitment to diversity, community engagement, and stewardship. That has been refreshing. My office and I are committed to working with them and Mayor Blackwell to make Gojo a crown jewel of our business partnerships in the county. And with your approval, I look forward to welcoming Gojo to Cuyahoga County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike?
You should use some Gojo products and now wipe your hands after that.
Call me out.
Afternoon, Mr. Chairman. This is Michael May, Economic Development Administrator of the Department of Development.
I'm gonna use these on Gojo.
If someone could advance the slide just a couple of there we go. That's great. Thank you. So just to reiterate this great project, this is obviously a tremendous manufacturing attraction into the county and especially one of our inner ring suburbs that's looking for these kind of great jobs. The lineup you can see right there, essentially this certainly fulfills all of the requirements that the county has with regard to the types of jobs and the salary levels that we look for within our specifications of the business growth and attraction loan program. So we're looking at jobs that average $51,000 a year. And if you go down the slate, you can see, again, very highly skilled and well-paid jobs. In the
Mr. May, could you speak up a little bit? Just
oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Great. Can you hear me better?
Yep.
Is that better?
Yes.
So the lineup of jobs runs from areas of such as maintenance mechanics at $71,000 a year or $34. There are quality technicians in the $58,000 range, $28 per hour. Machine operators, warehouse associates, a raft and a profile of jobs within the 100 that are anticipated to be created within 3 years that speak to exactly not only the quality jobs that we're looking for, but advanced manufacturing and targeted industries that we're focusing in on. If we go to the next slide, please. So the project itself is a building at 5700 Lee Road South, which is just a tad south of Broadway Avenue. It also is below the railroad tracks in that area, and is a key area, very accessible and noticeable in the city of Maple Heights. There have been a series of project costs that have been supplied to us largely from internally generated estimates that have been made thus far. Again, with the speed of this project and the squash of trying to get at least decent estimates for this, Gojo Industries provided us with internally generated facility estimates that run the whole spectrum of the building repairs that will be taking place, and then a great component of manufacturing, racking, material handling, basically what amounts to the production lines of this product. And in terms of the building itself, where our loan is going to be concentrated and where we're going to be providing assistance, right now there is a purchase agreement that's been consummated between Gojo Industries and the owner that is $11,355,000. Again, we have the purchase agreement, and we've looked at the terms of that agreement, and at this point, there's a 60-day window for that sales or transaction to take place. So we've been trying to work very quickly to meet that challenge. I might just ask for anybody to wait on the questions on the costs, because there are several, as you know, as you've heard here, there are several representatives from the company that can speak directly to the details of those cost estimates, those line item estimates. Could you advance the slide to the next one, please? Okay, so in broad brush, the uses on the left-hand side, the sources on the right-hand side, again, all of which add up to a $24 million plus endeavor. On the upper right-hand side, you'll see where we slot into this scenario with our $3.5 million loan. As Ted indicated, this is, for the most part, it's a standard economic development loan that is going to be fully amortizing, running an amortization schedule of 20 years and being charged 2.5% per annum. And then there will be these forgiveness factors. I like to call them performance forgiveness grants that would require achievement of, at various tranches, at a year 3 part of the project, 100 jobs. Achieving that 100 jobs would garner a $250,000 portion of the loan, the principal being forgiven. And then in another 3 years, if the company can produce another 100 jobs, another $250,000 forgiveness factor would be allowed and taken off of the principal of the loan. Again, it's for the performance of those jobs and the actual creation of them that would beget the forgiveness factors in those 2 instances. And then down the lines, Gojo Industries at this point has proffered a $5 million of equity, which, as you'll hear, is actually going to be growing so that we can meet the price of the building, our loan, and whatever would remain with regard to the need of funds for that. And then there's a series of assistance factors that are happening, starting with the city of Maple Heights, that is at this point offered kind of a multifaceted package. Doesn't break down here, but they have indicated that $160,000 or a value of $160,000 of job creation tax credits could be gotten from the city over the next several years, and also $160,000 of roadway and lighting improvements around, in and around the facility, which leaves us with $4.5 million in estimation of the value of a tax increment financing package that would be non-school, that again would go over 30 years. And again, this is in the early stages of figuring that out, but the city of Maple Heights has estimated that about $4.5 million of value could be brought to bear into this project, into the sources stack, by virtue of bonding out the TIF allocation and being able to put cash toward the project at the beginning of the project. Still some remaining financing to be worked out. There is in early stages a possible piece of assistance from the state of Ohio that's initially being looked at approximately at $2.5 million, but that has not been completely cemented yet, and is not something that the state of Ohio hasn't again. Jobs Ohio is also involved in that, and they're again at this point is not being publicly announced again, in that it hasn't been completely determined yet. Which leaves us with about $8 million yet, although some of that's going to be solved with the purchase of the real estate up top to get us to the $24 million of sourcing toward the cost of the project. Could we go to the next slide, please? So once again, the building, it is a 320,000 square foot building that lends itself beautifully to this project. $250,000, the kind of white, the white roofed area at the top, the big square, is going to be where the beginning stages of this project will take place. Basically the whole project, as has been laid out, to turn it into the manufacturing and distribution center for the Purell product. And there is also some space in the tail of that building there that's temporarily occupied right now by another company doing some distribution activity in there. They're leasing the space, but it's on the lease is up relatively shortly, and Gojo will be working on whether they keep that business in there or not, or whether they will need to usurp that space for what they're doing. It lends itself very well to what some of the future uses that Gojo is talking about. There are specialized material handling areas and heavy ventilation and fire suppression things that come with this building. It was used by the Blue Coral company, the Slick 50 products, automotive products, coverings and geez, I can't remember again, a whole series of products that they provide with regard to additives and
I think Blue Car was an automotive finishing company with waxes.
Yeah, mostly finishes, right?
Right.
Yes. So again, with the chemical and the product that they were doing there, this would work well, I think, with what they had set up in there, and Gojo dovetailing into the property. Next slide. So overall, again, the purchase price, just to zero in on the purchase of the property, this will be an $11 million plus transaction, to which we will be bringing $3.5 million. Again, the borrower is their real estate acquisition entity, GJ Real Estate LLC. The source is our Economic Development Fund, also known as the Job Creation Fund. Interest rate of 2.5%, and down the line here, fully amortizing on the term of 20 years. And then the two components of our, upon satisfaction of that we're titling and is shown in the legislation, phase 1 job creation period and the phase 2 job creation period, each one of which would bring with it a $250,000 forgiveness factor off the principal if those respective $100 new job creation requirements are achieved in years 3 and in year 6. The up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see our loan-to-value situation with this loan. Again, with us doing a $3.5 million loan, the sole loan on the property. Rest will be Gojo resources, no other financing attached to this. We would be doing a loan that is only 49%, just shy of 50% of the current tax value of the property, which is $7,019,000. Now, there is, as is always required, our loan committee, the CCCIC, required an appraisal of the property, and that's forthcoming. Gojo has that trigger, and we should be receiving an appraisal fairly shortly for its as-is condition. And I would be amazed if the appraisal doesn't come in higher than the tax value at this point. So our loan-to-value ratio is very strong. And with regard to security, collateral, if you will, on this project, we will have 2 things. We'll have a first mortgage lien on the entire property, again, the building and the 25 acres, and we will have a corporate guarantee from the parent Gojo Industries Incorporated. So those 2 elements provide us with excellent security on our loan and in the eventual in the possibility of a default or foreclosure. I'll just
Mr. May, while we're on this slide, I'm not sure I understand the math on the slide, Mr. May.
Okay.
I see 11.3 million for total purchase price, and I see 3.5 million coming from the county and property value of 7.
Right.
Those don't seem to add up to me to 11.3 million.
Well, it wouldn't add, Mr. Chairman. No, the property tax value is what is shown is the value of the property on the tax rolls right
Gotcha.
now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So purchase price is apart and separate from that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that is basically the deal as it stands right now and has been written in the legislation.
Okay, before we get into describing the property from the folks from Gojo, are there questions about the business portion of the deal? Just to reiterate, it's a 2.5% interest rate for 20 years, and we have a first position. How often have we had first position? It looks like, to me, that's one of the unique places we've been. I applaud you on being there.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
How often have we been in a first position on real estate? It's not often. We just took a first position, mortgage position on the Rochland Glass to Composites property in South Euclid. It was actually quite a similar situation where our loan was to be used for that expansion, but in that the company had no debt and we were providing a critical loan, we got a first mortgage position on that property and a corporate guarantee from them as well. Questions for the committee?
It's really rare though.
Questions for the committee for Mr. May? Anyone?
I have a question, Chair.
Sure.
And
Go
Baker.
ahead, Ms. Baker. Ms. Baker.
Right. So is this considered the corporate headquarters?
I'd let the company answer that. The quick answer is no. And if the president could maybe jump in and explain the juxtaposition of the current headquarters and what this will be doing.
Yeah, and maybe we will, if we could stay to the dealings of what the county is, and then we can come back to the corporate side of the aisle when we get the folks from Gojo on.
Sure.
Any questions in regards to the business transaction side while we have the county on the hook right here? Okay, you got off easy, Mr. May. Actually, I'll defer to myself then in regards to that. I didn't hear anything about a lease. Is there a lease that's going to exist at some point? Is the corporation leasing this back then from the LLC?
I will have to defer to the company to explain the exact mechanics of how they're going to work within themselves on that property. I don't believe so, but I don't know the structure that they would be putting together.
Okay,
I will state that if in any case we require, as part of our loan package, assignment of leases and rents on the project and part and parcel of our mortgage on the property and also our loan agreement. So that will be a component of basically a standard component of all of our loans and real estate deals.
Well, we just did a substitution of the legislation, and it went, the substitution meant that somebody else was going to be taking title, which I assume is their real estate holding side, and I assume the Gojo, the corporation's business, is ultimately going to be leasing it back from there. We'll get into that, but I just want to make sure that our paperwork shows that because our borrower is the real estate company. The user is probably going to be the operating company.
Yes, and I believe that will be the way it lays out, but I'd like the company to corroborate that.
Okay, but I want our records to show that too, seeing how that we're
I'm
dependent
saying
upon the
here
lessons.
now.
Right. Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions based on the chair's questions for Mr. May?
The only question I would have, Chair, and I'm not sure it's a question, but it seems, as you said, we're in first position. And then also the price of the real estate, for the most part, guarantees our contribution to this project. So I don't see, unless I'm not seeing it, I don't see a downside to investing in this company that is going to bring us the 100 jobs, at least as far as money goes in our investment of this company. So the property itself seems to be a pretty good bet that we're guaranteed those dollars back if it were not to be successful.
You're not supposed to be voting on until you hear all the rest of the story. That was very positive. So is there any other questions in regards to the business deal as far as the county from any of the guests on board on the committee or any other committee members?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Miller?
Thank you very much. And I just had a question about the one notation that said that the $3.5 million loan was not subject to prevailing wage, and that seems to be relating to the fact that the loan is not actually for construction. And my question is regarding the other aspects of the project that are construction related. Is the construction going to be done under prevailing wage?
And again, I would defer to the company at this point. Again, our dollars are being utilized for only acquisition and non-construction labor. That's been our policy to basically not delve into the prevailing wage matters. I don't know, there isn't a lot of public financing here. There is the city of Maple Heights, and the state of Ohio is looking at it. I don't believe that they require prevailing wage. So I believe that the sources will not be looking toward that. But again, the county is in a very narrow position on this in terms of where our dollars are going.
To follow up on Mr. Miller's question, our funds are not being utilized for construction. Our funds are being utilized for the original acquisition of the property. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, this is plain and simple. This is our money is going into the acquisition of the real estate, period.
Okay. And we're getting a first position, and we're also getting 2.5% interest rates, which currently we're now earning hovering right around 1% on our funds right now. So that puts us in a much stronger position to be recovering, and looks like interest rates are going to continue to drop. So to be at a 2.5% means we're getting 2 to 3 times what we're currently getting on our investment pool.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Other questions following Mr. Miller's question?
Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Tuma?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, I mean, it's the project itself sounds like a very good project. I just have to ask, I mean, given all the news coverage and media coverage with the COVID and all that, Purell is selling out. You know, why does a company that makes Purell need a loan from the county? I have to ask. I mean, I can't find any Purell, by the way, but I have to ask.
Well, to start, Councilman, this is an economic development loan that is looking to get good paying jobs and manufacturing jobs. So this has been to a certain degree, it's been an attraction play in terms of trying to provide funding for a project that will make sure that we can cement this operation and these jobs here in Cuyahoga County.
Well, this is primarily a mortgage is what we're doing, just like anybody would be buying. Is that what we're actually doing the same thing that any of us do personally. We don't pay cash for our house. We go out and borrow the money from a bank or other institution. In this particular case, they're borrowing it from the county. Would that be correct?
Yes, and again, I think I could put the term mission-based lending on this. What we're trying to do is, again, secure the manufacturing base in Maple Heights, and in this case, Gojo Industries was looking our way, and we felt that it was important to be able to incentivize this without going too far with it. Again, this is a pretty traditional loan, but to also assist with a couple of incentive devices that would bring them our way. They have choices all over the state, and certainly even in Northeast Ohio. And so this was something that we felt was important to bring across the county line.
I appreciate the response. I do.
Mr. Chairman?
Other questions based on Mr. Toomer's question?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's based on
Yes. Mr. Stevens, yes.
I have been working for the last 5 years with Mayor Blackwell on a variety of projects. And one of the reasons that this attraction to Maple Heights was incredibly important is Mayor Blackwell and Maple Heights have a significant African-American population. If we are to have jobs where we have higher levels of unemployment, higher levels of diversity, this kind of financing makes it attractive. We compete with the Solons, we compete with the Stark counties, and Geauga and Portage, and this was incredibly important so that she can reduce her unemployment numbers. I am not the district council person for her district, but I have a long-term working and personal relationship with her, and I could say that this is one of the best uses of our financing. Thank you.
Remember, we're not supposed to be voting yet. We're supposed to react. We actually have to hear from. Oh, you're not even on the
I
committee?
just said I thought it was one of our best uses.
I think, yes. Other questions or comments in regards to Stevens' questions? Hearing none. Okay, now, well, let's put the folks from Gojo on the record and say, tell us why this is a good project in your best interest also. Ms. Joseph, Carrie, would you mind coming forward and speaking at this point?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you all for having us here today and for considering this very important topic to us.
And I'm sorry, could you put your name on the record so that we could just have?
Yes, my name is Carrie Jaros. I'm the president and CEO of Gojo Industries.
Thank you.
So I thought I would tell you a little bit about the company and then talk a little bit about this project and why we're so excited about it. So Gojo is a third generation family enterprise. We've been located in Northeast Ohio for 75 years. Our purpose is saving lives and making life better through well-being solutions. And any Gojo team member would be able to tell you that if you ask them. They both know if you ask what our purpose is, and if you ask them why they work at Gojo, I'm pretty sure it would come out in the first couple of sentences. It's something we talk about all the time. We have 2,500 team members working around the country and around the world. About 1,800 of those live and work in Ohio. We are definitely a homegrown company here in Northeast Ohio and very proud of that. I said at the beginning, I actually grew up in Cuyahoga County, and so I'm really happy to be here today personally too, not just in my role as president and CEO. We have, to answer one of the council members' questions, we have several facilities in Northeast Ohio. We have a corporate headquarters in downtown Akron, which you can see behind me on my fake screen. So that's our corporate headquarters. It was built by BF Goodrich a long time ago. And then we have several manufacturing facilities. We have a manufacturing facility and distribution facility in Cuyahoga Falls and Stowe, so it spans the border there. We have a facility in Worcester, Ohio, that we purchased several years ago from Newell Rubbermaid. And that facility we thought would last for a really long time, and we have filled it, and much faster than we thought. We have added a facility in Navarre, Ohio, near Canton. That facility will do storage and distribution for us as we grow. And then this new facility in Maple Heights, about which we are very excited. So those are the 4 facilities. The Maple Heights facility is our first surface facility. So you're all familiar with Gojo's products in terms of Purell hand sanitizer. We actually are the largest B2B manufacturer of soap in the US. So we make soap that goes all over the place. You've seen our dispensers labeled Gojo. You've also seen them labeled, we make a lot of soap for distribution. And so sometimes you're using our soap and you don't realize it's ours. But we're the largest maker of soap dispensers. We actually invented the first portion controlled soap dispenser in the 50s. And the original dispenser is in our headquarters, and we still have the patent on the wall. In addition, we got into the surfaces space a couple of years ago with our Purell surface spray. And this is the product that we'll manufacture in Maple Heights. It's a really special product. So in the county's presentation, you saw a pyramid that talked about all the different kinds of surface disinfecting products that are available. And our product actually is, it won the EPA's Design for the Environment Award a few years ago. It really is the safest and most effective solution for surfaces that are touched by humans. It's no rinse and food contact safe. You can use it around pets and children. You can use it in food preparation areas. It's a really remarkable formula, and it was already getting great traction and growing very quickly before the pandemic because it has a norovirus claim. And norovirus is a real issue in food service and in other kinds of facilities, including long-term care and other places where people commune. And so this product already had a really exciting story and trajectory. And then it was included in the EPA's List N, which is a special list that was produced for products that have the emerging pathogen claim for COVID-2. And so, it's seen obviously even more attention and more demand in the last several months. We could sell as much as we could make, and then more and more and more. And so this facility in Maple Heights will be the first facility that's really dedicated to this product in our manufacturing family. I'll stop there for questions. I suspect you'll get at a lot more of what I have to say, and I can focus then on what you want to know.
Okay. Questions from the committee as far as the business modeling, what Carrie was just talking about in regards to the Purell products and Gojo out there. Any questions about the fact that this is a new product, basically, as far as the surface cleaning to their family of products? So questions for anybody? Don't hear any. Oh, go ahead.
Sure, I do have a question. I guess just curious, you're introducing a new product. Is there a reason why you don't move into this project within the areas that the distribution centers that we already have, or the manufacturing centers that you already have, given it's a new product and I'm not sure how tested it is? Why is it that you're taking the leap into investing into a large facility and making this investment on something that I'm sure is proven, but it's still new?
Of course. So we actually launched the product a couple of years ago. We've been manufacturing it using some contract manufacturers and then doing some small batch work ourselves. We have really had tremendous traction. So for example, it's used nationwide by Chipotle in all their stores. It's used nationwide by several other large chains. We've sold large amounts of it into, for example, Walmart has been using it to clean some of their carts during the pandemic, really large volumes of the product. And so it is we feel like it is not untested at all. We really took our time, I think, exactly to your point, for a couple of years to make sure that we understood the value proposition and the trajectory of the product. And we feel very confident now that we have tracks to a pretty remarkable business, and that it's the right time to lay down a foundation and really grow it.
If I may follow, thank you for that. Is this facility large enough that you could expand into other types of sanitizers, or is this focused mainly on this one that you have outlined for us?
We believe, so it's a nice size facility. We believe that it will accommodate substantial growth for us. Right now, we anticipate that our surfaces business will grow and take up much of that space in different formats. But certainly if we had other opportunities and the space made more sense to use for that, we could imagine putting other products there too.
Good, thank you. Good to know. Appreciate it.
On that same growth potential that was just mentioned by Ms. Baker, is there a rail service to this, or do you anticipate rail service? Because I assume your fluids have to be brought in large quantities.
Yeah, so the access to rail was one of the really attractive elements of this location for us. We have in Worcester activated a rail spur, and we are using that rail spur to transport alcohol to our facility. We use a tremendous amount of alcohol, as you can imagine, and we anticipate doing that as well in Maple Heights. It's an important component of our formulation. Part of what makes it such a low toxicity formula is that the active ingredient's ethyl alcohol. So we do anticipate using rail.
And that'll be a capital investment by either you or the rail service or somebody of that nature, I assume.
That's right.
Thank you. Questions for anybody else in regards to the business model that's being described to us? Good question by Mrs. Baker out there as to why they would be doing this. Any other questions from council members or guests, other council members who are part of the committee? Okay.
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I
Sure.
would, if you could, since we have Team NEO, our Team NEO partner, just while they can't speak to the current investment, but just why they've had ongoing conversations with the company, not only at this facility, but some of the others, just to provide their perspective. Another example of terrific partnership with the state in terms of making this deal possible.
Okay, Ms. Nelson, Christina, you prepared to speak to that?
Absolutely.
Now that you got volunteered?
Yeah. So Christine Nelson with Team NEO for the record. Speaking on behalf of Team NEO, our CEO, Bill Kaler, and JP Nassif, the CEO of Jobs Ohio, Gojo is a critical company for the state of Ohio and for the region. Their growth has just been a phenomenal homegrown story from the beginning. As Ms. Jarrow said, they're a third generation company here in Northeast Ohio. They have options all over the world. They could be anywhere, with several locations in Europe as well as Ohio. We strongly support the project because it's a very, as they look at ways to grow the business while still tapping into different labor sheds, it's a savvy move on their part to continue to look at different labor sheds within the same region. So they have good proximity to the headquarters and to the distribution and to other places, but they're tapping into various different labor sheds and able to find employees for each of these operations. So that's very impressive and something that we strongly support. In addition, you can imagine that Gojo is a highly attractive fish for our competitor states. So, continuing to have a close relationship with them, which we enjoy, to continuing to support their growth here in Ohio and particularly in Northeast Ohio is a high priority for Team NEO and for Jobs Ohio.
Any Team NEO questions from anybody? As long as we have Christina on the call. All right, we thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, we also are honored to have Mayor Blackwell from Maple Heights. Ms. Mayor, would you like to have a chance to tell us why this is why you would be advocating this for your community?
I'll start with saying this is a great day in Maple Heights. Extremely excited. Just the idea of Gojo coming to the city of Maple Heights has created just a great deal of positivity and Mustang pride. You know, this economic development opportunity translates into about $120,000 in income tax annually for the city, which is significant to our city as we continue to grow and to be released from fiscal emergency. The city was in fiscal emergency to almost $3 million 5 years ago, as well as maintain our economic recovery. The city is thrilled that Gojo is commitment to the community and hiring a local workforce, a diverse workforce. It's contributing to the growth of the city's residents and overall to the quality of life here in this area, not just Maple Heights, but we're 5 miles, we share borders 5 miles each way with other inner ring suburbs that have similar economic challenges with the ebbs and flows of real estate valuations and just the challenges of losing population growth. I just want you to know that we're extremely grateful and optimistic that things will go forth today. We're optimistic about our success as well as Gojo's proven success. We certainly will benefit from having just a very, what we believe, beneficial corporate partnership. Extremely excited. I've had just a brief conversation with the CEO, and we are both committed to doing the very best we can to be great partners and just really impact the quality of life for everyone in this region. I want to give a special thanks to County Councilperson Cheryl Stevens, who came to me almost 5 years ago when I took office to show me how to really leverage our biggest asset when she was at the land bank, and that is our real estate. We are a veteran community, not a lot of industry, so to have this kind of infusion into our economy changes life in Maple Heights. I can tell you already, we're on the map. People are calling, looking for businesses to be close to Gojo and all that it's already proven in other areas that they've landed, just the impact they make from just spirit, pride, optimism, and really what families can take home. This is a city that's challenged. Almost a half of my households are single family moms that are working 3 jobs. I have a feeling they can quit one of those jobs and be home to meet their kids and help with homework and not be so tired. I just as sitting in this seat at this time, I just couldn't have asked for just confirmation of the hard work myself and my team have done. I certainly can't sit here and take credit without just myself. I mean, I have a fantastic executive administrative team, great law director, my economic development sitting to my left. That was a big part of putting this together in a very short time, as well as our finance director, our police chief, our safety forces. You know, it's almost a parade. It feels like a parade day amidst all that is happening in the world. But right here in Maple Heights, it's a great day in Maple Heights because Gojo has chosen Maple Heights for its location here in Cuyahoga County. So I'm extremely grateful. Thank you for the development team at the county, which helped us just to really become aware of this opportunity and help us to compete in a way that's winning. You know, I'll just say this in closing. 5 years ago, I had a banner lady come to me and she says, you know, you want any banners? And I said, sure. She said, what are you going to put on it? And just kind of joking, I said that we're winning because I really began to believe that we could win again. And I kind of did it kind of tongue in cheek, but today it is without a doubt that we're winning. So those banners that are flying on the main streets are true because Gojo is a part of that victory. So we're extremely excited. Thank you so much for this opportunity today. I look forward to things going forth as we've all been hoping and praying for and extremely late as an entire community. I can tell you whether it's in drug murder, I've got people that left Maple Heights are calling and say, what a great place for a place that I grew up in. So thank you everyone today.
Congratulations, Mayor Blackwell, for your perseverance on this. And we'll keep plugging along here one step at a time. Mr. Jones, any comments, seeing how this is your district?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. And I just want to take a moment and just congratulate and thank everyone who was a part of this incredible project. the administration, Armin Budish, Councilman Jack Strawn, yourself for your role. Also, our council president, Dan Brady, for his insight and wisdom in helping to navigate this project as well. And I can't say enough about Mayor Blackwell and the leadership she's brought to the city of Maple Heights. This is a city on the rise, and it is directly a result of the hard work and time and energy she has put in as a strong leader in that city. So I'm happy to be a partner to working with you all, to Ms. Jaros as well as the county councilman for your area. If there's anything you ever need, feel free to reach out to me as well. And again, it's just a great day for the city. And we're really excited to have this company here.
We've now had the opportunity to hear from Mr. Carter, Mr. May, Mrs. Jaros, and Mrs. Mayor Blackwell. Are there any questions from any of the council members for any of these four people who have spoken on behalf of this project, on the loan itself, on the use? Anybody that is in regards to the council have any questions?
I have a comment. It's Councilwoman Simon.
Yes, go ahead, Simon.
Thank you. I just want to say this is definitely a great day for Maple Heights and the county, but I also want to add that I'm happy to see a redevelopment project inside an inner ring versus going out and building a brand new facility. I really appreciate that, your decision to do that, to fill some of our vacant or otherwise leased spaces for long-term employment and economic growth. So I hope we can see more of this. I know Euclid has a lot of space and we need to fill it up. So thank you.
Well, this is two in a row up there, Simon. The one we did up in South Euclid just not too long ago also was a redevelopment of a space up there too.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
I would also like to second what Ms. Simon said about the inner ring development. I applaud that as well. I would like to follow up briefly on my earlier question and ask if the appropriate person could describe the construction work that will be done as part of this project and tell us how that construction work will be handled both as regards to prevailing wage and also as regards to minority participation.
I'm not sure who's best. Perhaps anybody on the call that could speak to that. And I know there's other people here that are also on the call, but and they maybe be handed off by Mrs. Jaros into one of them too. So even though you haven't spoken, if you think you can address that question, please feel free to chime in.
Yeah, I will. I'll ask Mr. Watterson to comment. I do want to reaffirm that the loan is not being used to pay for any construction. It's for the acquisition of the property. And Andrew, if you want to speak to the specific question, that would be great.
Sure, thank you. Andrew Watterson, Sustainable Value VP for Gojo. Councilman Miller, the majority of the cost, if you looked at the sources and uses as well as the project cost, is equipment and building out the equipment for the lines for the space. The construction estimate was a little bit below $2 million. With respect specifically to prevailing wage, we are not putting specific requirements on our contractors beyond what's applicable by law, and our attorney can probably fill in anything I miss here, so we aren't putting additional prevailing wage requirements on our contractors that we'd be hiring. With respect to minority hiring and diversity and inclusion, hiring diverse and small businesses is a component of efforts that we look at Gojo more broadly in our procurement practices. It's also efforts that we're building out more intently going forward, both from a procurement perspective as well as helping our customers with diverse and small businesses. So it's certainly a value and that the company upholds, working with local partners, working with small businesses, and working with diverse businesses. So, but we're not putting any additional requirements on our contractors from a prevailing wage perspective, as would be applicable with a loan from the county if we were using for construction.
But these funds are all being used for the acquisition of the property, not for any construction. Is that correct, Mr. Watterson?
That's correct.
Okay. Other questions? Hearing no other questions at this point. Mr. Jaros, you had alluded to something that intrigued me. It was Chipotle is using this product out there on a national basis. And restaurants, obviously, for anybody who knows anything about Cleveland, Cleveland's become a foodie. We're a food town, and we're bringing people from all over the country here. Tell me about how this product interfaces directly with a Chipotle and a restaurant chain, Ms. Jaros.
So thank you for the question. So I will try to do this briefly.
You teed it up, so I had to at least go after it.
It's dangerous once we get into innovation and products because I am deeply, deeply passionate, but I will try to do this succinctly. So as many of you know who have dined in restaurants for years and years, you're very used to seeing a red bucket and a rag. And after you get up from a table or before you sit down, someone will come over and wipe your table and your chair with the red bucket and the rag. For a whole bunch of reasons, we don't believe that that is the safest and most effective way to clean a table and a seat. And we really believe that our surface spray is not just more effective for all the reasons that you can imagine as a ready-to-use product that has where the active ingredient is alcohol. But we also believe it's actually a lot safer, both for the people who are applying it and for those who will then dine off of that surface or touch that surface and touch their food. We have had really very good success sharing that story, and many places like Chipotle, who want to make sure that their diners see that they care about cleanliness, health, and well-being, are choosing to use our products and ditch the red bucket and the rag. And we believe that that is not an isolated incident, that in fact, we're going to see a tremendous amount of energy moving away from the red bucket and rag to solutions like ours, and hopefully specifically ours.
It doesn't sound like you're, based on your enthusiasm, that the property is big enough for your vision.
You know, as I think I told the reporter from Cranes last week when we were talking about this exciting development, when we moved into Worcester, which is 1 million square feet, I think we thought that that would hold us for a very long time, and here we are. So I think our voracious appetite for new and exciting ways to keep people healthy and well bodes very well for anyone with real estate.
Any questions based on the chair's questions about restaurants and utilization of this product? This is different than the red bucket, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. Questions from anybody in regards to my questions? Okay, hearing none. The chair will move to approve this for, we're looking for a second reading suspension. Is that what we're looking for? Mr. Carter?
No, Mr. Chairman, I talked about this with the company. They are comfortable, unless I hear otherwise, from Ms. Jaros and Mr. Watterson, with the cadence of our consideration.
Okay.
Typically.
All right. Then we'll just, the chair will move to move this for a second reading, not a suspension, but a second reading at the full council for bringing this from the committee into the full council. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I thought it'd be either Ms. Stevens or Mr. Purnell Jones that would be seconding that. Thank you very much.
Well, since I'm not on the committee, but I would love.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point. Yes, thank you very much. Any discussion now that's on the floor and moved and seconded?
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to have my name added to this.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones, you can't have your name added to it, though.
My name should be right there, already established as.
Okay.
It is, Mr. Jones.
Okay, all right, very good. Any other further discussion? Hearing none.
Mr. Chairman, just one comment before you close, Mr. Chairman, with your permission. Just
I have to vote first. I'm not going to close.
Oh, I thought I
We have to
heard all the votes.
Okay, everybody have their phone off mute. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing no opposed, the measure moves to the full council for the second reading. Now, Mr. Carter.
No, just a couple of personal comments and thank yous, and one a bit of editorializing. Just to Mr. Tuma's comment, and we said it, but sometimes I think we move and talk so quickly in our enthusiasm that the inducement and attraction part of this is significant. And so to get a quality, again, manufacturing company like this, sometimes it's just, do you want us here? And so I think what the company has felt, not only through our actions of the investment that you've approved, so thank you for that, but also the way we've engaged the company, the speed by which we've responded to helping them wrap up and support their identification of this site also shows that this is the place they should be. And our work just begins once this is fully approved. I've committed to the mayor and to the CEO that we will, my office, the workforce board will be shoulder to shoulder with them in terms of identifying residents, helping on board, providing training assistance through our Skill Up program. And so we want them to really have a wildly successful experience so that they have no choice but to move their other facilities in the Cuyahoga County. Just, Mr. Strawn, I just want to thank you for your leadership and partnership and bringing this home. There were so many different moving parts of this that we haven't discussed, but that were compelling. So just thank you for your leadership. And Mayor Blackwell, she's ready to go. So she didn't go into all the things. She has already positioned to support the company, which is pretty impressive. And so lastly, Ms. Nelson comes to our quarterly meetings with the economic development directors from across the county, really speaking to the need for each community to identify and curate their inventory of available real estate. And so sometimes we don't get the response we want, but this is an example of where, luck meets opportunity, or readiness meets opportunity, where there was an available building that met their demands. But, if communities want to be opportunistic, those things have to be done before the opportunity presents itself. And so we'll be using this as a case study, Ms. Nelson, of the importance of, putting sites into your system and making sure that everyone has the current inventory so that when things appear and materialize, we can be responsive. So thank you to you all for approving this. We look forward to working with you, Ms. Jaros, and a virtual handshake to you and your team. And Mr. Watson did a terrific job, by the way, in representing you.
Thank you. Well, my grandfather always told me preparation when it meets opportunity is the real definition of luck. And so luck very rarely comes about without the preparation and the opportunity. So congratulations to you, Ted, because this is right in our sweet spot. It's a manufacturing facility and it has a medical component to it too, because I know that if you go to any hospital, you'll see Perel everywhere around there. So it's the best of our two sweet spots of medical manufacturing here in Cuyahoga County. So with that, is there any miscellaneous business to come before the council, the committee? Hearing none, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.